Good evening, fans, friends, family, whoever else has found this place. Welcome back to Mass Effect, as I am playing through the original trilogy of games and discussing things from the author's perspective. So this is where I left off at the end of the previous episode. And if you haven't seen that, please feel free to go back and look at last week's YouTube video. The only thing I have done in the interim is to take care of all my equipment. I have a lot less junk now. I didn't fix all of it, but I went through and made sure everyone had the best guns and got rid of the old junk. So everything's a little better now. This is Lydia. We all saw her last time. So let's go see what's up next to do. I love that this game, this series, this franchise, has a canon explanation for the arrangement of the command center here on the Normandy. And that there is some disagreement / controversy as to the arrangement. I want to say, I already did this. So I guess before we do whatever's next, I need to see what I still have to do. I'm not going to go back to the Citadel for that. Let me dig out another sticky note here so I can write that down. Hades, Gamma, and Teus survey team. Okay, I'll make another note. Citadel reporter info and it's not what I wanted. Kahoku missing Marines. All right. Get this underway. Back to the map. Hades Gamma? Yeah, I knew it was up here. Teus. Travel to another system. Since we're using this mass relay network, the Mass Effect version of faster than light travel, at the time, when the game first came out, when I first started playing, was a solution to the faster than light problem that I had not heard before. As everybody knows, E equals mc squared, right? Can't go faster than light, because the faster you go, the exponentially more energy it takes to get that next teeny bit faster. So once you get to 90% of light speed, it's going to take a whole lot more energy to get to 91% of light speed than it did to get from 89 to 90. And, you know, when you go from 91 to 92, that takes even more energy. And so the closer you get to light speed, you know, the harder and harder it is to accelerate. No, it wasn't that one. So it was this one. Trebin? Yeah. Landing. Modest terrestrial world with an atmosphere composed of nitrogen and argon. The surface is mainly composed of nickel deposits and silver. Relatively mild scarcity of water or similarly enabling substances has prevented the development of any biosphere. Performed a test impact of a single water ice comet onto the surface. First step into a long-term plan to build a thick atmosphere, terraforming, blah blah blah. Survey team on the surface. So it's the survey team we're going to go look at. 0.86 G. Little light. 1.1 years, that's fine. 0.84 atmospheres is, again, a little light, but if you're crashing comets into it and you're adding mass, you're going to be adding all that air to the atmosphere. Adding mass is going to increase atmospheric pressure. Anyway, I got distracted. This mass effect faster than light travel is, you know, a backwards solution. Most forms of sci-fi simply find some way to make ridiculous amounts of power. Well, in this case, instead of making more power through the use of element 0, they just make less weight. And, you know, obviously it's a simple solution. You're really just solving for a different part of the E equals mc squared formula. But for some reason, not as many people have done that. You know, tried to solve this problem that way. And I thought that was interesting. And in part, that spurred me to write more. Because I realized, you know, there was so many different possible methods, you know, of faster than light travel. You could achieve light speed or near light speed in more than one way. I knew that was going to happen. So you saw me stop and look, and I was like, yeah, this is probably going to be a spot for an inertial law. Those are new. I don't remember any sensory tentacles. And I think it might actually be a good thing. These random encounter losses. Treasure law. Oops, I missed. They always, I think, we're a little too one-dimensional. Sure, it's big, it does a lot of damage, it takes a lot of damage, but that's it. So adding those sensory tentacles, as they call them, and it stays below the surface until you've dealt with all of them. I think is both a logical and, you know, both lore and gameplay-wise, a logical method to to mix it up a little bit, make it better. There you go, pushing the wrong buttons again. So, what are we going to discuss on this episode besides faster than light travel? It's part of the fun for me, maybe for the audience, if I'm not stumbling over my words too much. These are completely unscripted. The vast majority of my other YouTube videos, aside from a bunch of squad highlights, those are all scripted. And I'm reading and playing the games at separate times. Well, I'm talking to you while I'm playing the game, so this is unscripted. This is all natural. Alright, here's the thing.
Looks like nobody's home. En route.
Well, let's find out. Some bunks, some shelves, tungsten rounds. Okay. What's in here? Some more bunks, some more shelves, some medical supplies. What do we have in here? Desk.
According to these data logs, the survey team unearthed some kind of alien technology.
Could be answers at the excavation site.
Assault rifle and copper sniper rifles. Alright.
To me!
Left their vehicle here, so they walked all the way down here to this excavation site.
En route.
Let's see what's going on. How about the Asari? So I have Liara Tassoni with me. And part of the reason I'm doing all of this silly video stuff is to talk about science fiction and this game specifically from an author's perspective. So I'll start with the Asari since I happen to have one with me. The Asari are great, in my opinion. They're very Star Trek, blue alien girl. Captain Kirk would love the Asari. Captain Kirk would start a war for the Asari. I don't see any alien technology here.
Engaging target.
That's a lot of husks. Now we know. What kind of alien technology we got? Actually shoot the thing. Yeah, the shotgun. There's a bunch.
I have heard of this before. Whatever alien technology the survey team unearthed must have turned them into mindless fanatics, machine cultists.
Whatever they found, it's long gone now.
That seems very Warhammer 40k if you ask me.
Here.
Make sure there's nothing else going on around here before we get too excited by that. Those are locked. Oh. That's the
I
end of
think
that.
we're done here.
I was saying, sorry. There's their sludge canister. I have to root around in that. Sorry. Staying on topic. Sorry. For being aliens, they're awfully human looking. They've got the same number of fingers, same number of toes, eyes, nostrils, they're the same basic biped shape. Sure, their skin is blue. Dang, almost made it. There we go. Armor, shotgun. And, so there would have to be some sort of natural, a reason for them to evolve with blue skin. I'm sure it's something along the lines of, their planet being orbiting a different star, they get a different kind of radiation. So they've developed this blue pigment in order to either reflect and or absorb different kinds of solar energy.
To me!
Brute force. Anyway, they're supposedly monogendered, and that any member of their species, they're all the same gender, which in this case is remarkably female looking, and any member of their race can mate with any species and gender of any species of any other race. And I find that hard to believe, at least as we understand it. Mating is done, reproduction is done through DNA, right? So whatever DNA one partner is contributing to the offspring must be to an extent capable of meshing with the DNA of the other parent. And of course there's things like mules that are, half horse, half donkey. And on occasion, they're even capable of reproducing. So I don't think that is necessarily a problem. But that they're capable of doing this reproducing thing with any species is where I find a problem with the Asari. Because, they're very human-like, so sure, maybe they can mate with humans. But take the Turians and the Quarians, for example. I'll talk about them later. But they're based off of RNA instead of DNA. And so, the difference in Turian and Quarian physiology from humans, makes Turian and Quarian food, poisonous to humans and vice versa. If you eat some Turian peanuts and you're going to die from internal bleeding. So, I don't see how an Asari is capable of mating with both, because, they're completely different methods of constructing DNA. For example, I shouldn't say for example, but if an Asari is capable of mating with a Turian and or Quarian, I don't see how they could also be capable of mating with a human, or a Batarian, or a Krogan, because of the difference in DNA structure and protein makeup. Guilt these guys over something I don't have enough skill to salvage. Well, I think that's all the stuff on the map. Let's go down that way, just to make sure we've got all the bases covered. Sometimes there's other stuff that you find that isn't on the map. So, there's my first problem with the Asari. Not that they look like us, that's... humans have evolved for a reason, and it is not unreasonable to think that similar environments on similar planets would give rise to similarly evolved creatures. Although I do think being monogendered and capable of mating with anyone is a sign that, the Asari had to evolve that to be like that for a reason. So, that leads me to believe that they're low in numbers, or at least early on in the existence of their species. They were few in number and or scattered far and wide and had difficulty finding each other. And when they did or could, it was of significant evolutionary advantage to be able to mate with whoever they found. She's on the Citadel too. So I guess we're gonna go back to the Citadel, and I can take care of like 3 or 4 things at once. Meet Santa. Next, I'm going to complain about the method of their mating. Because, as Liara herself says, the physical contact may or may not be involved. How do you mate without physical contact? I mean, sure, they have an explanation in the game, I'm getting there. But I don't see how it's possible to exchange genetic information without physical contact. Asari are capable of... I'm going to wait until this sequence is done so you can hear me. I didn't want to make everybody deaf with me trying to talk over all the cutscene noise. The Asari are capable of the mind meld, where they physically join the consciousness, not only, physically join their consciousness to their partner's consciousness. Yeah, whatever. And that's how
Equalizing interior pressure with
they
exterior
exchange this
atmosphere.
genetic information.
Logged. The commanding officer is ashore.
The way-
Exo Presley has the deck.
The way Liara words it, when you ask her and talk to her about it. Oh, this guy.
Tin Hut!
At ease. Rear Admiral Mihailovic, 5th Fleet.
Commander Shepard, SSV Normandy.
You don't know who I am, do you, Commander? I command the 63rd Scout Flotilla. You and the Normandy were slated for my unit after shakedown. And the Council got their paws, claws, tentacles, whatever. They got them on our ship, and you.
I always liked that. I don't like this guy, but I like that one specific line. Paws, claws, tentacles, whatever. Aliens.
I still serve the Alliance, sir. As a Spectre, I can advance our interests to the Council.
You still know what color your blood is, Shepard? I don't begrudge the politician's decision to throw you to the Council. It's an opportunity. I do begrudge this over-designed piece of tin, though.
You don't approve of the Normandy's design?
This experiment diverted billions from our appropriations bills. For the same price, we could have had a heavy cruiser. But no, we had to make nice to the Turians, throw money at a co-developed boondoggle. I'm here to make an inspection, Commander. Normandy is an Alliance warship. I intend to see she's up to snuff.
We'd be honored to show her to you, Admiral.
I'll just bet.
This is the
Wait here.
part I was
I won't be
referencing
long.
earlier, where they talk about, building this design with humans and Turians.
Commander, I'm not happy.
This is the explanation, or the part where it gets explained why the bridge is designed the way it is. So I'll see if I can get him, get that bit of dialogue.
I'm
to come
sorry
out.
to hear that, sir.
Who designed that CIC? Putting the commander aft of everyone else is inefficient. What if he needs to discuss with the operators toward the bow?
Yeah, see, it's a Turian design, just like I was saying.
Modified Turian style. They prefer commanders looking over their subordinates rather than in the middle of them. We wanted to see how effectively they can command with that setup.
Reasonable goal, but they should have studied that in a lab rather than on a frontline warship. I had to shake my head at that drive core of yours. 120 billion credits at element 0 to make this thing able to move without giving itself away. You realize we could make drive cores for 12,000 fighters with that money? What good is it to hide for a few hours anyway? Useless.
We can loiter in an enemy system and monitor traffic, or drop infiltration teams on enemy worlds. Normandy could be more effective than the Solarian STG.
Maybe. But that's not the job of a proper warship. We're supposed to find and kill the enemy fleet, not count how many times their garrison goes to the bathroom. And we need to talk about your crew, Commander. Krogan? Asari? Turians? What are you thinking,
Turians?
Commander? You can't allow alien nationals free access to Alliance equipment.
So, I don't like this character. That's a good thing. He is well written. Without, coming outright and saying it, you can tell both his motivation and, humanity's gut feeling as a whole towards aliens.
Between Saren and the Geth, we have enough enemies out here. Treating other species with suspicion and distrust won't win hearts and minds.
That assumes the hearts and minds are worth winning. That hasn't been proven yet. You have anything else to say, Commander? Any other justifications for the state of this vessel?
I think Normandy is a good ship, sir. Even if you disagree, you have to see that her joint construction and multiracial crew make the Alliance look better.
Your job is to look good, Commander. The Alliance navies is to win wars. I'm not convinced Normandy isn't a waste of taxpayer money, but I am convinced that you believe otherwise, and that you'll use it to its best ability. I'll be submitting a report to the Joint Military Council. It will not be as negative as I planned. Good hunting, Commander Shepard. Make us proud.
Which, there's another thing I'd like to point out, it won't be as negative as I planned. How are you planning, it's obviously showing his bias, because he's planning, to write a negative report. before having seen the ship. Okay. Back to what I'm supposed to be saying about Asari. Oh?
This is quite the view, Commander. CSEC seems more like a military operation than a police force.
No? Nothing of interest. So, the way Liara words it when you discuss her species
After years of
and
poor
their
economic
biology.
performance, Exogeny has announced that its research colony
Really?
on Pharos is finally returning a profit. New
I'm
discoveries
trying
and
to
a
talk here.
dedicated colonization effort have finally paid.
Wasting all of our time. Thank you. When you ask Liara about, how the Asari function, here's another one. They're packing too much into this game and not giving me enough opportunity to talk.
Commander Shepard? Khaleesa been seen in Al-Jalani, Westerland News. Would you answer a few questions for our viewers?
What sort of questions?
People back home have heard a lot of wild stories about you, Commander. I can give you the chance to set the record straight. What do you say?
So long as you understand that I may not be able to answer all questions.
I'm sure our viewers will understand.
Where's my phone? Plug this in.
Humans have been trying to get the respect of the galactic community for 26 years. With that in mind, what are your feelings on being the first human Spectre?
The Spectres represent the best of every species in the galaxy. To be asked to join them is an honor.
Some have said your appointment is the Citadel throwing humans a bone. Have you encountered any situations where the Citadel asked you to place its needs before the needs of Earth?
The Council is concerned with the needs of the whole galactic community. We're part of that community now. Our needs are on their agenda, but we're one of many.
You really do believe that, don't you? You've been given command of an advanced human warship for your missions. Is there anything you'd like to say about it?
Actually, the Normandy was co-developed by human and Turian engineers. Its design incorporates many innovations, all of which are classified, I'm afraid.
So the Turians have knowledge of the Normandy that is being kept secret from the Alliance public? Do you think it was appropriate to hand Earth's most advanced warship over to the Citadel?
I wasn't aware it had been handed over to anyone. I'm in command, and last I checked, I'm human. Same goes for my crew.
Human, yes, but you do work for the Citadel now, Commander. One last question, Commander. Rumors back home say you're tracking a rogue Spectre named Saren. Do you have any comment on that?
Well, screw it.
Saren instigated the attack on our colony at Eden Prime. Once his involvement was proven to the Council, I was assigned to bring him in.
That's surprising, Commander. The official line says Eden Prime was attacked by rogue synthetics. Good luck in your mission. Thank you for your time, Commander Shepard.
Now, I gotta find a different reporter. Bring her stuff. If I can finish what I'm saying. Sorry, mating without physical contact is explained by, their ability to meld minds. To the joining of two consciousnesses into one. And I don't see how that's possible. Even if there was some way to link, the consciousness of the two beings, you would suddenly, be privy to anything and everything they knew, and all of their feelings and emotions. That could be literally, mind destroying. Between the two of us, I'm, a certain number of years old, and if our two minds are joined together, and you are suddenly introduced to anything And everything I have ever felt, everything I remember, my stream of consciousness, my thought process, all of my feelings, all my pain and my dark secrets and the things that I'm hiding from everyone, and vice versa. Now I've got to deal with all of your baggage. I think the two of those, that happening to me and that happening to you at the same time, individually is enough to damage, if not destroy, your consciousness, your sense of self. And not only is it happening to you and me and you, but it's happening to both of us at the same time. And, if I have a reaction to it, and then you have a reaction to it, and then, that creates a feedback loop, and everything just expands exponentially, and pretty soon there's either one consciousness or no consciousness, and it would just destroy both of our
Word on the
minds.
street is that you've been busy. Congratulations on taking down Fist. I was sure he was a big player in anything going on here. Did you find anything in his office that could help me?
These OSDs might have the information you're looking for.
You've got Fist files? This could be even bigger than I'd hoped. Here, Commander, for your trouble.
What would my future cooperation be worth? Say, an interview when my investigation is over?
Exclusive? You talk to me before you talk to anyone else? That would be worth quite a bit, and I'd be very happy to compensate you accordingly. Here you are. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should go see what's on these discs.
I like how she's all excited and she's almost dismissive. I mean, obviously she's distracted, like, oh, I gotta go look at this stuff, but, the voice actor, I think, missed the point just a little bit. So, anyway, as I was saying, on top of this, joining of the minds between the two people, the Asari live a really long time. Hundreds or thousands of years. So, if some little human mind, some guy, say he's 40 years old. Oh, look, isn't that the same person? Some 40-year-old man gets, mind melded with this 900-year-old Asari matriarch. And perhaps, her mind is old enough and established enough, vast enough, to be able to absorb all of his information without any problems. But in her time, she might have literally been to every inhabited planet on, in the galaxy. And I see no way that, the average Joe could survive that.
Commander Shepard, could I have another word with you?
Without his mind
Hello again,
just
Commander.
being
I've got a
ruined.
proposition for you. Since you helped me get information on the crime syndicate, I've gotten a lot more backing from my publishers. I'm investigating traffic controller conditions now, and I wondered if you could help.
That seems like a step down from wide-scale corruption.
Actually, in a way, it's more important. This isn't about people getting rich. This is about safety. I've heard rumors that the space traffic controllers are overworked to a dangerous degree. I can't get into the control room, but you could. If you planted a bug inside, I could crack the story.
What will this bug allow you to pick up?
Just audio and video. I'm not trying to tap into the traffic control system if that's what you're worried about. I just need to hear and see them in order to correlate their activity with traffic efficiency.
This bug you want me to plant, could it interfere with traffic signals?
Absolutely not. I made certain that the frequencies it uses won't interfere with anything.
If you crack this story, what's likely to happen?
Ideally, there will be calls to improve working conditions by hiring more controllers and upgrading systems. The council won't pay for improvements voluntarily. This story will provide that pressure.
I can't promise anything, but I'll see what I can do. Give me the bug.
Excellent. Just place it on a terminal with a good view of the area. Thanks again for your help. In the long run, this story is going to save lives.
Keep getting interrupted. So, continuing with this mind melding thing, the way Liara words, the discussion, the way she words her explanation,
No, I'm waiting to
as
speak to one
she
of... Commander Shepard.
explains all of this to you.
My name is Admiral Kahoku. Is there something I can do for you?
You sent a recon team out into the Artemis Tau cluster?
Yes, that's right. They went missing a few days ago. I've been trying to find out what happened to them, but I keep getting the runaround from Alliance brass. Do you know something about this, Commander?
I'm not sure how to tell you this, Admiral. Your men were killed by a Thresher Maw.
A Thresher Maw? That's not... My men wouldn't just stumble into a Thresher nest. Not the entire unit.
Somebody lured them there with an Alliance distress beacon. Placed it perfectly so they'd land right beside the Thresher nest.
Damn it. I had a bad feeling about this ever since my team disappeared. An Alliance beacon used as bait, my unit wiped out, and nobody seems to know anything about it. Commander, I appreciate what you did. Now I need to do my part. The families of those Marines deserve to know why they died.
Good luck.
I hope you find what you're after, Admiral.
I will, Shepard. I'll let you know when I find anything out.
Now, the way Liara says, answers the question when Shepard, justifiably asks, how does that work? And I'm paraphrasing, obviously. I don't remember word for word what she says, but something along the lines of, they pick and choose the traits that they want from the father species, as she calls it. Since, it's always the Asari that, comes with child.
Not enough data yet.
I don't want to get involved in that. Embassies, come on. So, that leaves me to believe that instead of exchanging genetic material, they exchange personality? Because the Krogan, for example, are big lizards, and they're mean and they're very aggressive. And the Turians are very military and uptight. The Solarians are, shorter lived, but very inquisitive, very scientific. And so I think perhaps that this general, racial inclination is what they're taking.
Don't believe the rumors. The consort would never reveal her secrets.
Of course she wouldn't. She'd be tossed out the nearest airlock if she did.
I suppose. What do you want? Oh, Commander. Is there something I can do for you?
Calm down, Private. This isn't an inspection.
Right, sorry. What can I do for you, Commander?
What can you tell me about the Asari consort?
Well, she's an Asari who works here as... That is, she helps people with things.
Did you really go to see the consort?
Zara's like...
No, I never did. I couldn't afford it. It costs half a year's credits just to go in and talk to her.
Can you at least tell me where I can find her?
Sure. She's across the bridge from the embassies.
Thanks, kid. Have fun. Try not to get into too much trouble.
I will. Have fun, that is.
I like how he says he's having fun. He doesn't say anything about, too much trouble. Anyway,
Commander
Miss
Shepard,
Nasana. Let's get
I
this
am
over with.
Nasana Dantius. I see you got my message.
It sounded like you needed some help.
I do. My sister Dahlia is a crewman on a cargo vessel operating out beyond the fringes of the Traverse. Her ship was attacked by privateers. There were no reported survivors.
I'm sorry for your loss.
This is where it gets complicated. Last week, I received a message with her voice on it. Dahlia is alive. The rest of the crew
this
was killed.
remaster, like,
She was taken
look at the
prisoner.
fidelity on
Slavers
her
demanded
head.
a huge
I don't have a
ransom
cursor,
from
so I
me in
can't show you,
exchange for
but
returning her unharmed.
around, her forehead, where those, for lack of a better word, tendrils, and where they mesh into her scalp. That looked good compared to what this game used to be. 15 years ago? It's an old game.
Why didn't the raiders kill Dahlia along with everyone else?
My sister probably told them who she was. My family's very wealthy, Shepard. They must have realized she was worth more to them alive.
Do you want me to deliver the ransom?
I've already transferred the funds to the account they specified. Only they never released her. They haven't contacted me since. I've made a terrible mistake, Shepard. I'm a diplomatic emissary. By law, I'm required to report any attempted extortion to C-Sec immediately. But I was afraid for Dahlia, so I just paid the ransom. Now she's still missing. And if anyone finds out what I did, I could end up in jail.
You want me to find her and bring her back?
You only need to bring her back. I've already found her for you. I tracked the ransom payment through several accounts. Eventually, it led to a small mercenary band operating out of the Artemis Tau cluster. I need you to go to the Merc base, take them out, and bring my sister back. You shall be well rewarded.
Mercs.
Don't worry. I'll bring your sister back.
Thank you, Shepard. I knew you were the right woman for the job. Come back and see me when the job is done.
Now, I know I'm running around doing a lot of little stuff, and this is taking forever. Damn, even Ashley's hair looks better. This remaster has improved a lot of little things. I know you can only take, something so old so far, and I appreciate what they've done. If I can finish my topic, I feel that, the Asari, regardless of the species and gender of both parents, always look like Asari. So, I think that they're not actually exchanging genetic information, per se. But that they're using this mind meld to take, cultural information. Your inherent knowledge, kind of, the difference between, an Eskimo and all of their, innate, cultural inherited knowledge, and, some Southeast Londoner and what they're going to have. If I remember right, this goes around up to the... Yeah, up there into the control room.
Okay, Julie. Let me get this straight. Your business partner, sure. He's dead.
So, that's my theory. I'd also like to point out, the Asari live a really long time. I mean, I know I already mentioned this. Hundreds of thousands of years. And I think this is part of where I got that earlier idea that I mentioned with how few of them there are. Alright, let's go find that other Asari's sister. So if, anyone, to use humans as an example, if
all
humans
this violence
on
sometimes
average
catches me by surprise. I imagine that your military training prepared you for it, Chief Williams.
Trying to take down a rogue Spectre and his army of synthetics? No, they didn't cover this in basic.
I'm just loving, playing this game and seeing, all the little details of how everything has been made just a tiny bit better without detracting from what was already there that made it good. And I'm just enjoying the game too much, and I keep getting distracted. I apologize. Maybe maybe I will go back to writing
Logged.
scripted
The commanding
episodes.
officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
So that I can get things done in a reasonable time. Going back to using humans as an example, if every human lived a dozen
Message
centuries...
coming in. Patching it through. Commander, Miss Al-Jalani's story on you just aired. She shouldn't have ambushed you like that, but you handled it pretty well.
We had differences of opinion, sir. I hope she at least believed my sincerity.
You handled yourself pretty well, Commander. She came across like a raving idiot. There is one other matter, however. The Citadel has been trying to play down Saren going rogue. It makes the Spectres look bad. Your mention of him was politically inconvenient.
I wasn't aware of that. I won't discuss him again, sir.
I'd appreciate that, Commander. I won't keep you any longer. Fifth Fleet out.
Anyway, you know, if... I believe the Asari came from a sparse population, you know, widely spread out, and/or few in number, because, you know, they've obviously developed these strange, you know, mating abilities. Artemis Tau, that's where I'm going. I don't know which system though. I'll just pick one at random. Yes. And, you know, so they can mate with anyone and everyone. And they live for hundreds, thousands of years. To me, that, you know, indicates that they come from a sparsely populated, widely spread out population kind of environment. Because otherwise, you know, if a human lived for 1,000, 1,200 years...
Message for you, Commander. Just came in over a secure channel.
Come on, another one?
Shepard, this is Admiral Kahoku. I found out who set that trap for my men. The ones killed by the Thresher War. Damn, I hope you get this message. It was a group called Cerberus. An Alliance Black Ops organization. Top secret, highest level security clearance. They vanished a few months ago. Dropped right off the grid. Nobody knew where they went or what they were up to. They've gone completely rogue, Shepard. They're conducting illegal genetic experiments, trying to create some kind of super soldier. I don't have any proof, but I found the coordinates for one of their research worlds. I'm uploading them with this message. They're completely out of control. Somebody needs to stop them. I've done my part. Now it's up to you. This is probably the last you'll hear from me. Cerberus is after me now. I need to disappear before they find me.
Anyway. I'm gonna give it a second so I can actually finish the thing I'm saying before something interrupts us. If a human lived for 1,000, 1,200 years, and, you know, we would immediately have overpopulation problems. You know, you think back to where humanity was 1,000 years ago. 1200 AD was a very different world. And if all of those people were still alive today, we'd have a vast, you know, overpopulation problem, and/or very, very slow birth rates, which I guess also kind of makes sense because, you know, it's a voluntary exchange of information through this mind meld. So an Asari can't get pregnant. An Asari cannot be with child on accident. Okay, so we've already been in this system. This is where we picked up the aura. So we'll go here. So, you know, they've never had a need for birth control or abortion, and will have, you know, all of the freedoms that come with that. And it might not seem, you know, at face value like a big thing. I think this is where we go to find the mercenaries. But, you know, at a cultural level, it makes a huge difference. So I think, you know, in part to You know, Asari being few in number, having long lifespans and low reproduction rates. Otherwise, you know, they should be the dominant species of the galaxy, right? Between the Asari and the Krogan, you know, they both have lifespans measured in, you know, centuries, thousands of years. If you were to, you know, like the Solarians have much shorter, you know, like 40-year lifespans. This is where we found the Marines. Right, so I've already been here too. Yeah, there's survey deposit. Alright, so I don't even need to be on this planet. So, you know, if the Asari, I think, are a huge threat, you know, to humanity, you know, the survival of our species, you know, per this canon, because, you know, they're semi-immortal. They live forever. They'll know so much. You know, they'll be able to. You know, people like think of insider trading, for example. People complain about that. Think of the kind of trade deals they could set up with a 1,000-year lifespan. You know, they would become. You know, they would be able to acquire so much wealth, technology, assets, everything. I think the Asari would be an unstoppable force. And fortunately, you know, in the game, their culture is very learning-oriented. They're very curious, and they want to understand and make friends with all the other races, which is great. Because otherwise, you know, being naturally biotic, they'd just kill us all. Which itself is a whole different thing. The biotics, I mean. Supposedly, exposure to element 0, or radiation from element 0, or something like that, while in the womb, will give the fetus telekinetic abilities. Somehow, kind of like the Force, instead of having midichlorians, there's some mental link to element 0, and lets you control the mass of the relative mass of objects by manipulating the polarity of magnetic currents through element 0. And that's how, you know, they reduce the mass of spaceships and reach here faster than light travel, and, you know, drop the Mako through the atmosphere and all that fun stuff. And that's how the biotics work too. Both for the Asari and the humans. Grr. And I just don't see. So, we get on to the rest of my problems with the Asari. I don't see how either biotics, telekinetic abilities because of element 0. I don't see how biotics or mind melding is possible. How do you link two consciousnesses? Consciousnesses? Whatever. How do you link two minds by saying embrace eternity and changing the color of your eyes? I don't buy it. It's cool, it's theatrical as heck. It looks great. It makes for excellent storytelling. But I don't have a satisfactory explanation as to how that's possible, how they do it. You know, they don't even go so far as to say that, oh, well, human science doesn't understand. I mean, that seems a reasonably quick and easy, cheap explanation. We're not going to tell you in the game because humans don't know. It doesn't make sense. Well, A, okay, that is an explanation. You could go with that. B, the Asari would know. It's them. So, you could just ask them, and I feel like even if that was the offered explanation, that it's just a cheap cop-out. Now, don't get me wrong. Those are big things that I don't like. It ruins my immersion. But I think the Asari and the Quarians are my two favorite races out of all the different aliens in Mass Effect. Maybe I've got a little too much Captain Kirk in me. Oh, I rolled the Mako. I just wanted to jump off the mountain. There's one way to get down. Anyway. Even if it is inexplicable, far-fetched, blah blah blah, I feel it makes for excellent and compelling storytelling. And it helps the fullness, the richness of the Mass Effect world. And by world, I don't mean like this one planet I'm on. I mean like the whole universe, everything together. Big caltrops. Alright, let's clear this out. I'm gonna make a save. Let's see, what else can I say about the Asari? I'll wrap this up after I'm done with this fight, since we're already more than an hour long. Well... there is... there is a fan theory. I guess I shouldn't call it a fan theory. There is a theory that, oops, sorry, third-person camera angled stuff does make things a little interesting. bitch.
Go, go, go!
Shields disabled.
I can fix that.
Bring it on.
All right. Loot all the stuff. I don't care what it is. I'm just here to loot. Deal with it later. I think I'm getting better at these quick hack things. See what's upstairs, shall we? There's a thing that comes out later in the series. Small spoiler. You overhear a conversation in a bar between a human, a Turian, and a Solarian, who are all three discussing what makes the Asari attractive. And each one thinks, the Asari looks like their species, even though humans, Turians, and Solarians are vastly different, biologically, genetically. So there's a theory which plays a small role, but if you catch it, it's a thing. It messes with your head. So the Asari are naturally biotic. Like I said earlier, humans, well in the womb, exposed to element 0, could potentially become biotics. Or, die from cancer as babies. The Asari are all biotic, every single one. And they're like that from birth. It doesn't take special training or anything. They're just like that naturally. And so, these strange telekinetic powers that you get from being a biotic are, it's suggested by these three guys at the bar discussing the physical merits of the Asari. And, that their suggestion is that the Asari, through a combination of their biotic powers and their mind melding ability, are manipulating everyone's minds, and that the Asari are actually horrible, terrifying, disgusting monsters, and are instead, making themselves physically appealing to any and all potential mates. Oh wait, while I'm out here, where was it that Admiral Kahoku said to go check out the Cerberus stuff? And I'll get that done before I go back to Attican Traverse. Yangtze. So if you go down that rabbit hole, that kind of explains a lot of things. Where is... the Attican Traverse? Am I just blind? Why am I so blind? Okay. So I'm gonna finish a whole complete thought, finally. The Asari are capable of this mind control thing. And, you know, that's how they make anyone and everyone find them in some way vaguely attractive in order to attract mates. Which I think, you know, is another plug for my either extremely sparse or extremely widespread population and their evolutionary necessity to develop the ability to mate with anyone. Alright, look at my journal. How am I doing this wrong? It's in the Voyager cluster. So why does Attican traverse? I don't know, I'm confused. There we go. I just can't read it. So, the Asari are ancient and complex and multifaceted and attractive. They're very, you know, even just on this one subject, if I wasn't distracted by playing a video game at the same time, you know, we could go for hours discussing the results, implications, reasons, so on, of all of these things. They're deep, you know, well-developed, complete species. And I think an excellent asset to the game. And my only complaint isn't necessarily about the Asari themselves, but about the game as a whole, because to me personally, I don't feel the explanation of how biotics and mind melding works are, you know, complete or justifiable. They're not good enough for me. Maybe I like my sci-fi too hard. And I understand it's just a game to enjoy it. And I do. This is one of my favorite games, and I enjoy it immensely. So there's my unplanned, you know, 2-bit rant. Unscripted, interrupted on the Asari. I think I'm going to try like a half and half thing, because I do want these to be longer hour and a half episodes in order to have, you know, enough time to finish the game and not have, you know, hundreds of 10-20 minute episodes. Because that could be, you know, in itself just as boring. But I'm gonna start, like, I've got a bunch of sticky notes. I love sticky notes, they're everywhere. I use them for everything. Can I go inside? This is a place where I can go in? I can. Right. had to take the long way around. So I think I'm going to have, a sticky note on hand with a set of bullet points for all the things I want to discuss, so I don't ramble quite so much. And I'll have to play with my volume settings here on my recording software, so that way I can continue talking and be overheard. And, so that I can be heard and I'll be able to continue talking over. All of the cutscenes and combat and such, and not have to be interrupted and stop every time. By every little thing. So that I can have a complete thought. Sniper indoors.
Looks like Cerberus has other bases on this world, Commander.
Death to the Ragni. They're their own scary thing. Right, I can't go that way, so we will exit the way we came in. And I'll try and wrap this up quickly. I don't want to end in the middle of a mission, but I don't want this to drag out too long either. So apologize for the rambling strangeness. I'm still working on this live broadcast thing since I've given up streaming Cyberpunk, and I'm now, talking with a topic. Next time, I have another topic already planned. I know what I'm going to talk about, so it won't be hard for me to, set a half dozen bullet points on a sticky note to at least keep myself a little more focused and with a more careful tuning of my sound and microphone here. I'll be able to keep talking and not be interrupted by all these cutscenes and elevator rides and deafening gunshots. Of course it is. And everything will get better. So I beg you, stay with me. Bear with me here. I'm gonna get better. I'm learning. YouTube is an ever-changing thing, as they modify their algorithm and do things differently, and it's kind of a mess. Now, that's a pretty moon. So, the remaster, the graphics on this are... I love how they made everything better without changing anything, without making anything different. They're paying homage, and they didn't feel that they had to change, you know, any or a significant amount of the game's content, or, you know, add some message, go for woke, whatever. They kept everything that made the game good, and they took all the old, outdated stuff and made it better.
I'm on my way.
Without detracting anything. Although I love, you know, these Prothean pyramids. It's totally a joke. I mean, it's literally a pyramid built by aliens. Come on. Yeah, aliens did it. You can tell the guys that made this game had a sense of humor. Right, now we can find the door and park in front of it. I'm gonna save again. Alright, I'm gonna level us up first, because that happened. 2 points. Let's see. Ashley. Right. She gets her sniper rifles and her fitness. I remember that. Laura, what are you doing? There's a point for lift or throw. Excuse me, that's throw. I'm just gonna throw one in electronics because I've run into a couple of electronic skill too low. So there's me. What does Shepard get? Yeah, electronics is low. I'm gonna put one in armor. That kind of makes everything even there. Those were the lowest skills. Now I can save. There's nothing in here. Look, more Rachni. Fun.
I will destroy you!
Will you now? That was one of the things that I loved about the original game that I've not seen so much of here in the remaster. It used to be... Oh no, Lyra's down.
Time for revenge. Medi-gel deployed.
I wonder what monstrosity Cerberus has been cooking up at the next base. All targets down.
Well, we had Rachni babies at one and Rachni warriors at this one. So I'm gonna wager some other flavor of Rachni. Or husks, or Thorian creepers. We know they've dealt with those too. In fact, those are probably more likely. Remember he said something, Rear Admiral Kahoku said something about attempting to build super soldiers. So they're probably husks or creepers. Or could you do both? Like if you had a Thorian creeper and then made a husk out of it? Is that a thing? Then it's gonna send out an EM pulse and barf acidic plant juice on you. nasty 1-2 punch. Uranium, and I'm just gonna stand next to this mountain of uranium. Alright, let's get away from it before I start glowing. So Lydia here. Nah, I'm not gonna go there. Spoilers for my book. Lydia doesn't want to be radiated because reasons. Spoilers. The Descendant spoilers. If you're still with me an hour and a half later, I do have to plug my book a little bit. I'm a science fiction author. It's part of why I'm here reviewing science fiction games and discussing lore and world building. Because it's a thing that I like. I like it so much, I wrote my own book called The Descendant, which is some classically inclined, moderately hardcore science fiction.
Securing point.
And both electronic versions and paperback versions of The Descendant, my first book, are available on Amazon. I'm certain there will be a link down in the description. I've got multiple books written. Second, third, and fourth books are all done. I'm working on the fifth one. The second one will be out sometime in the future. And in the meantime, I'm doing this. And I'm not just here on YouTube. I have built a couple websites. Oh look, creepers. I wasn't wrong. I've built a couple websites. I have a blog, and Twitter, and Facebook, and you can find me on those places, and we can continue to talk and share content and so on.
Now I'm ready.
Oh, they got me.
Sure that doesn't happen.
Fire in the hole! Powering up.
There's all that stuff, like, comment, subscribe, drive the algorithm, because, as I mentioned, YouTube is often changing their algorithm, and it's a mess. If you've enjoyed this, or any of my other content, if you want to come hang out with me, play some video games. I should do that.
One last stop.
There.
That much.
So a like, a comment, subscription, sharing this, so your other nerd friends, can see it and enjoy Mass Effect and talk about science fiction with me. Any and all of that would be greatly appreciated, since it drives the algorithm here.
Oh, goddess. It's Admiral Kahoko.
Cerberus must have tracked him down.
Alright, now I can go back to the Citadel and take what's-her-self, information about her sister. hungry. It might be time for food. We've got a grapefruit sitting on the counter. I'll eat that. Anyway. There ends another one. I'm sorry, it is now 50% longer than I intended. But I've enjoyed my time, so. You know, look up my book if you like. Find me on any and all other, social media platforms that I use. I'm always down for conversation, to learn, and to share perspectives and ideas. And I'll see you in the next one. I'd appreciate it if you shared my ideas and perspective. Party hardy, my friends.